Hi, and welcome to this week's live stream. And the subject, as you can tell by the description, is 1980s cartoons. Now, I'm a child of the 80s, as is the Oracle, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yep. So we obviously have various opinions on what is the best 80s cartoon. Now, for me, one of the top ones is Dungeons and Dragons,
Thundercats.
Thundercats. So, what was the best, Dungeons and Dragons or Thundercats? Well, we're going to be discussing that and debating it between ourselves. And obviously, you can get involved with your comments in the chat. And as always, streaming on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. So if you're on either of those platforms, or if you prefer one of those other platforms, then jump on board. Now, obviously, the 80s is quite an iconic era, I think, because not only did it have some of the best films, Ghostbusters, Aliens, Fame. Go on, mention a film.
I quite like Grease. I'm sorry.
Grease. Okay. Um, so it also had some of the best cartoons, in our opinion. Do you not agree?
Absolutely.
Right.
What they've got now, I don't know.
SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, that's been out for a while. What is the most recent cartoon? Well, cartoons seem to have taken a little twist, haven't they? They've gone more from traditional
But-
cartoons to anime. Anime's
It's not even that though. It's the cartoons that they have absolutely no meaning about them at all.
right.
It's like you've got Peppa Pig.
Yeah. I mean, what is Peppa Pig all about exactly?
All right. At least with the cartoons in the 80s, they actually had a storyline to it.
Yeah. I think the thing with Peppa Pig, though, is it's also there to educate and teach children, which we had more educational programs, I feel, growing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Why don't you? But that's a whole different.
I was tortured with Why Don't You? The problem with having an elder sister is she got to control the TV. And I hated the summer holidays or half term because Why Don't You was a big thing, and I had to suffer it.
It's
So
pretty much like Blue Peter, isn't it? You had to suffer it because it was on so often.
it was it on BBC? I think it was, wasn't it? It was a BBC show. Why Don't You? I mean, they had some like good ideas, but oh, yeah, when you wanted to watch something like Dungeons and Dragons, and your sister had control of the TV and she made you watch this program, which was on what channel?
I'm just looking now.
We're going to find out. We will get on topic soon.
It's one of those TV programs that is so
Goody, wasn't it? Even for the 80s, it was just so everyone was having such a wonderful, good time, and they're trying to encourage you to get out and do the same thing.
yeah. No, I can't even find it at the moment.
That's probably a good thing. So, one of my favourite cartoons is Dungeons and Dragons. One of your favourite cartoons is Thundercats.
Yeah.
So, what was it about Thundercats that you enjoy then?
As I was saying, I liked the story behind it. You know, they come from their own country. They got their own world. They got knocked out of orbit. You know,
Yeah, but do you not think it's just like a rip-off of Superman and Star Wars? Because you've got them as refugees from their homeworld that's been destroyed all of a sudden. Then you've got the magic sword of omens.
Well, couldn't you say that the same way about
Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, because they went into a different world.
No, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
no. Dungeons and Dragons. They're teleported to another world, and they have to find their way home. At what point in Thundercats do they try and find their way home? They can't. It's been destroyed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can't actually do that.
Right. So how is that a rip-off from Dungeons and Dragons? The Oracle's not too well. Thank you for the like.
No, I'm sorry. I still think Thundercats is good.
I haven't dissed
No.
Thundercats.
But I like the way it is. They can't get back to their home world. We know this.
Right.
You know it at the very beginning. You
Yep.
saw it blow up.
But then you've got a Force ghost as well. So it's Star Wars in a cartoon.
It's not Star Wars. Now, if you were telling me you could argue Star Wars, I'd agree with you.
Yeah, but you could argue that Thundercats is just a rip-off of Star Wars. As I say, you've got a Force ghost, you've got a magical, mystical sword of omens, which gives him sight beyond sight. There's Force powers going on there. She's looking up stuff now. Whereas at least with Dungeons and Dragons, it was based on the 80s game, which was then we reintroduced the Dungeons and Dragons through Stranger Things, and they're teleported to another world. There's more characters with different abilities. But there is. You can't say that Dungeons and Dragons is a rip-off of Star Wars, like in the way that you can that Thundercats is. You know? Just duet. It's just the two of us duetting tonight. Thank you, Alicio Alazoni. But thank you for the invite anyway. You know, so okay.
They've got a snarf.
Yeah, okay, they got a snarf. Okay, Dungeons and Dragons has a uni.
Yeah, no, snarf's funnier. Sorry.
Yeah, but snarf is like the comedic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you.
Well, okay.
On the show.
Snarf is no different to an Ewok.
Oh no, he is. He's actually funny. The Ewoks were just like, no.
No. Okay. All right. Snarf is just like a rancor. So you don't feel then that Thundercats was just basically a rip-off of Star Wars in its own way?
No, I do not.
Okay. So what is Dungeons and Dragons a rip-off of then? See, it's not, because it's based on the game.
Because it's not. It's based on the game.
Yeah, don't get too excited there. You'll just cough again.
You sure it's not Jumanji?
Jumanji? Well, that wasn't a cartoon, was it?
No, but it's a series. Or it was made into a film.
Jumanji wasn't a series before.
Wasn't it a book, though?
Jumanji? We're going way off topic on this one, but go on in. And I'll entertain you if you kind of put forward the case then. Jumanji was a book then? Based on what? I mean, that's a board game. You also had Zephora, which was also based on it was a similar kind of story.
Right. Jumanji, based on a book.
Right.
The book was an adaptation of a 1995 film in the same name and spawned the franchise that includes the 3 sequels and the animated series.
And when was the animated series out then?
I don't know. I haven't found it yet.
Well, it's not in the 80s, was it? We're supposed to be debating or chatting about the quality of the 80s cartoons, and this is totally sidelined into something else, isn't it?
Right, I found a picture of this thing.
Right, okay.
I'm just trying to find...
So we're now looking for Jumanji then, yeah? As a cartoon?
Yeah. There was a TV programme, a series, in 1998.
Yeah, but it's not the 80s, is it? It was supposed Jumanji season 1. Yeah, I've got it here. Yeah, but that's not the 1980s, is it?
No, it was Star Wars.
Star Wars was?
1977.
Oh, now we're being pedantic. Star Wars. Yeah, with The Empire Strikes Back coming out in, was it 1983? Or 1980? 1980 was Empire Strikes Back. Then Return of the Jedi was 1983.
Yeah, but you said Star Wars.
Yeah, because Star Wars isn't Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, Attack of the Clones, Do we class the new films?
No,
No. Okay.
just no.
So we don't. So we do not class the new Star Wars films as in Force, the Force Returns,
I
Return
don't
of the
know.
Force,
I don't know.
the end of the Force.
I
the Return
only
of,
bother with the first three, really.
in much the same way we don't really talk about Alien versus Predator either, do we? So that doesn't exist. So thank you for sharing the live, Big Dave Perry. Hi, Big Dave Perry. Thank you for joining me. You're joining us. Biggest Dave, okay, yeah, Ross Kemp, whatever.
Right, on here,
Like Trim, thank you.
they've got here the top 9.
Right,
You've got Thundercats,
yeah.
Transformers, Smurfs,
Yeah, I mean, how could you? Yeah, you can't.
hang on.
Okay.
Inspector Gadget.
As a top cartoon, Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that list from?
I just put in the best 80s cartoons, and these ones have come up.
Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget was okay, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean, not being
not
funny,
the same
Wayne.
pedigree as Dungeons and
They've got
Dragons.
Gem on here.
Oh, that is terrible. You need a new list. So it was Smurfs, Transformers. Interesting. The actor that voiced, you had the two actors that voiced Megatron and Optimus Prime throughout the 80s in the cartoon series, also voiced them in the films. And I think it's a travesty that they're not using the same actors in the next Transformers movie,
Yeah.
particularly as the guys are still alive.
Oh my god, please
So-
don't tell me that's on there.
So what have you got on there now?
Right, so Dungeons and Dragons was in 1983 to 1985.
Fantastic cartoon. Just see it. You never actually get an ending with Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon series, and a group of fans actually got together and put they completed the original script for the final episode of Dungeons and Dragons, and it's available on YouTube. So if you're a fan of the show and you wonder whether or not they do actually get home, then watch the episode on YouTube. Really
So,
well worth it.
Yeah. So you've got.
Yeah. Well, we've got Transformers is good, one of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody has put on here Super Ted, 1982 to 1986.
I enjoyed Super. I think Super Ted's probably a bit like Banana Man would be a guilty pleasure as a child.
The Real Ghostbusters, 1986 to 1991.
That was okay. Not a patch on the film.
No,
not a
of
patch
course
on the
not.
films.
Then you've got Transformers.
Yeah, I got Transformers.
1984 to 1987.
Okay.
Danger Mouse.
Oh, Danger Mouse is class.
1981 to 1992.
But they remade it, didn't they? Danger Mouse.
They did. That's the original.
With David Jason.
Yes.
Was the original voice Penfold.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget was in 1983
Dan
to
Cole?
1986.
Yeah. All right. Happy birthday.
Right. He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, 1983 to 1985. Now, for me, I always thought He-Man was on for longer than 2 years.
They probably just repeated it several times.
No, but the amount of series that they had at the time.
Yeah.
But
then let's be honest, though, He-Man was originally created to sell toys.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. I think it was one of the first cartoon shows that they created in order to sell toys. And they really hit the nail on the head.
They did.
The cast was just brilliant. I mean,
and to be fair, there was always a message at the end of it.
At the end of it.
Yeah.
So you had the little moral message at the end of the show, which was good. I mean, I suppose in a way it would be classed as probably politics in entertainment.
Yeah.
But it was done
well.
without beating you over the head with it like it is these days.
Yeah.
So
DuckTales, 1987 to 1990.
Right. So, okay, what was better than DuckTales or Trapdoor?
When was Trapdoor?
Well, you're the Oracle.
Let me see.
Trapdoor, I'm sure, was the 80s. Don't you open that trapdoor? Because there's something down there. Burke. Feed me, Burke. They actually made that into a video game. It was quite actually enjoyable
Right.
back in the day.
Trapdoor.
You can tell it's in the 1990s or something like that.
No, it was 1986.
There you go. Straight in the 1986. Right. So, are we going to come up with our top 10 best cartoons and debate them? And then finally rank them?
I found this on the web.
Oh, shut up. I don't care.
Yeah, I've been looking on the web. Didn't get me very far.
No, I've been looking on the web and all. Right. Okay. So that was Trapdoor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But Danger Mouse. We're going to look at Danger Mouse.
Yeah.
Because it's just so terribly British, isn't it? Danger Mouse. So you have Baron Greenback, DM, Penfold, and David Jason. Yet again, David Jason, I think, is the kind of actor that has had an illustrious career and yet still managed to be underrated. Because in comparison to him with Robbie Coltrane, who has equally had a distinguished career, but he's done things like Harry Potter. He was in James Bond. I wish something like that could happen for David Jason, because he's definitely a class guy.
And the other one that I always liked was Mask.
Yeah, Mask. Joe, no room tour tonight, mate. Okay.
D'Artagnan and the Musket Hound.
Yes. Now I'd like to try and get little one to sit down and watch that.
Yeah,
I think she'd enjoy that. And that's a French cartoon, though, isn't it? Based on.
It was based on the actual.
Yeah, but if you look in, it was actually the animation in the studio. I think they were French, so they translated
Spanish
it.
and Japanese production.
That's close. Spain's next to France. Going to get a whole load of messages of hate now. That was a joke, by the way. Yeah, so Spanish and Japanese. So an early form of manga.
A charming Spanish / Japanese production.
All right, I didn't realise the Japanese production was on there. I thought it was a French production.
I'm just going by what it says on here.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just bring that up on for YouTube. So how are we spelling that? Dan.
DOG.
DOG, yeah, dog.
TAN.
TAN.
IAN.
IAN. Yeah, and for all of those in the live, I'm dyslexic, so I can't spell. Yeah, no, that is really. Again, it went on forever, didn't it? This is the thing with the 80s cartoons; they just went on and on and on. Ulysses.
Oh, Ulysses.
You forgot about Ulysses, didn't you?
No, I hadn't.
Ulysses went on for how many episodes?
Let me see if I can find that.
There's a load of episodes. And what about the Cities of Gold? Another classic 80s cartoon. And the thing is, they just run for hundreds of episodes.
Ulysses 31, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
you, as a child, you grew up with these TV shows because there were just so many different episodes.
In the first season alone, there was 31 episodes.
Right, and how many seasons was there?
I'm just trying to find it. How many episodes were there?
So you're a 6 or 7 year old child, and you start Ulysses episode 1, 30 odd episodes. That's practically the year gone, because it wouldn't show every week. There would be a break. Then you get season 2, so a year older, story develops, characterization as well. Jason the Wheeled Warriors.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Now, if I was clever enough, I'd have this in a little chart on YouTube, and I'd be putting them up and down. But I'm not clever enough. So, Ulysses 2031, wasn't it? Based on the Greek story, though. That was the thing with Ulysses 31.
Yeah, 31.
31. It's a traditional Greek story with all the characters, and they put a modern spin on it. Was that a French production?
I don't know.
Okay. Banging soundtrack.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely banging tune to it for a cartoon. And a lot of the 80s cartoons did. They all had that iconic sound, that iconic tune to them. So yeah, Ulysses 31 is based on the Greek myth of Ulysses, and they updated it, gave it a total modern feel to it in the 80s, and I think the story is still relevant even now. The characters were great.
Yes, they were.
So many episodes.
I know.
So
I'm
many
just trying
episodes.
to find it.
Ulysses. No, that ain't Ulysses. Oh, well. 31. Let's see if Google can pick that out. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, cool. Right. Yeah. So, and you can buy it on Amazon. It's in stock.
Yeah.
So, if I go to, so it's an anime. Concept art, sword,
Right,
and
hang on.
no. Right, yeah, that's what I want. I want all. So,
Well, as I say, the first season.
31, 32, 31. IMDb would be the best one to get that.
That's what I'm on, but it doesn't seem to be doing that for me.
Yeah, okay, mate. Pizza Master, he's watched Grease 2 and enjoyed it, no less. So this week we're discussing cartoons, 80s cartoons, and yeah, just basically top picks from the 80s, really. So
Yeah, so no, it just tells me season 1 has got 26.
right,
Season 2.
I'm having a look here. Well, this is the premise, and I'm going to read the storyline here off of IMDb, if I can. Come give it to me. Oh, there we go. Right, so cartoon series. It is the 31st century, and Ulysses is a famous explorer and pilot in space, but he desires to go home to Earth to his wife. He takes his son Tumultuous and Tumultuous' new robot gift, Nono or Nunu, with him, and takes the spaceship Odyssey with computer Sharaka and his crew en route to Earth. Telemachus, can't pronounce it. I did watch this, honestly.
Is that Telemachus?
All right, in Telemachus. Okay. Dawson, don't really know too much about that.
What?
So, Paul Breach, don't really know about that. Ulysses destroys the Cyclops, and as well as rescuing Telemachus, takes Nuamor and Yami, 2 children from the planet Zorta, with them. However, this enrages the ancient gods of Olympus. Still exists after all this time, and in revenge, puts the crew and the Nemenor into a deep sleep, wipes the location of Earth from Sharaka's memory, and put the Odyssey in the universe of Olympus. The only way out is for Ulysses to find the kingdom of Hades. But Ulysses, Telemachus, Yami, Nono, and Shikari have to defend against the Trident, the force of the gods, and the dubious community of the universe in a desperate search for finding a cure for the cure for the crew, and to find the kingdom of Hades and find a way home to Earth. So it is a version of the famous or the infamous Greek trials of Ulysses set in space, and it is well worth a watch.
Yeah.
All episodes were available on YouTube at one stage.
They were. The Mysterious Cities of Gold.
Yep.
And that was a French-Japanese production.
Right, see?
So,
Yeah, The Mysterious Cities of Gold, 1982 to 1983. Jason the Wheeled Warriors, 1985.
yeah.
So, yeah. Now, the Oracle does have a little bit of a soft spot because she had one of these herself. Care Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've still got one up there somewhere.
Yeah, she got in the original. Which one did you get? Grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get called Grumpy. The Oracle had a grumpy Care Bear when she was younger.
Yes, I did.
There you go. Do you want to go into Care Bears or not? No? Okay, on to the next cartoon then. No. What was the other one that you said? Cities of Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right, so the Mysterious Cities of Gold.
G-Force.
Yeah, I love G-Force and Battle of the Planets. Now, they're the same thing, but because... thank you. Thank you for that, Pizza Master. Right, it's kind of thrown me off track a little bit. What was it talking about? Battle of the Planets and G-Force were essentially exactly the same show, but because it's been broadcast on the BBC, they considered some of the scenes in it too violent for children, which is why in one episode of the show you get this robot called Seven Zark 7, who does these little interludes throughout the show and commentary, because that is to replace some of the scenes that the BBC felt were too violent for kids. That I'd love to be able to get the whole series of that on DVD or even on a streaming platform. And this is where streaming platforms kind of things fall through the cracks. Not everything is available on all of these different streaming platforms. You could have every single platform like Amazon, Apple, CBS, Paramount, the whole shebang, Netflix, and you still don't get every single episode, and sometimes particular shows altogether. They just don't go on these streaming programs.
Similar to what we've done with Georgia, with her one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Where she likes that Royal
Royal Academy or something.
Yes.
Yeah, Royal Academy. You can get season 1 of that on
Netflix or something.
Netflix. Now, the rest of the seasons are available on Amazon in the US, but not available here in the UK. And it's such a kick in the teeth when they put out all these programs. And what's the Miraculous as well?
Oh, no, I think she can get all of those.
Can she?
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is why I would recommend, if you see your favourite film, favourite TV show on DVD, buy it. Buy it secondhand, but buy a physical copy of it, because that way these streaming services can't take it off you. Netflix has come under fire for editing classic films, and the one that springs to mind is Back to the Future. There is this particular scene where Marty gets caught reading a basic porno, was it is Playboy or something like that. So he tosses it into the bin, but he's put a fake cover on it. Now, what Netflix did, they edited the book to be something like this week's sports results, and it kind of takes away the essence and the meaning behind why he tossed it into the bin. So if you've got a TV show and your favorite film, buy a physical copy of it, because sooner or later, if it doesn't meet the modern standards on terminology or any political stance that they want, they can just simply wipe it off. And another example of this is Aliens is available on Disney Plus. But what is not available on Disney Plus is the director's edition, at least not in the UK. Being a massive Alien fan, I've got loads of versions of it anyway. So anyway, back to the subject, and that is cartoons. What are we going to be talking about the next one? Mission Odyssey. We were going to go on to Mysterious Cities of Gold, weren't we?
We were, yes.
Again, another cartoon with a memorable theme tune.
Yeah.
That you'd sing along to. Now, I thought they did 2 seasons of City of Gold, and The Mysterious Cities of Gold. This was 1982 to 1983, and again, I think there's hundreds of episodes. Oh yes, so one season, 2 years. So what are how many episodes?
See, that's what I'm struggling to find at the moment. The amount of episodes there are.
Right. I'll go through it. Right. So the year is 1532. Esteban, a young boy, is told that there was. This dyslexia just kicks in whenever. Esteban, is that Gloria or Esteban? No? Okay. A young boy is told that he was saved by Mendoza, a navigator on a Spanish ship from a shipwreck in a storm at sea. The only clue to his identity is a medal that Esteban wears about his neck. Esteban joins Mendoza on a trip from Spain to the New World, the Americas, where en route he meets two other children, Zia, an Inca girl, and Teo, the last member of a highly advanced race. All three are looking for different things. Esteban, to find his father and his identity, Zia, for her father, and Teo, for remains of his race. The clues for all three quests, however, all point to the 7 cities of gold, and so the children, Mendoza, Sancho, and Pedro, 2 other sailors and friends of Mendoza, start searching in a massive treasure hunt for the cities of gold.
Right, the first season.
Yeah.
There are 20. Hang on.
Because didn't they actually find the cities of gold in the first season?
I can't recall. There was 26 episodes in the first season.
Right.
The second season, there was 26 again.
Right. So we're looking at well over a year's worth of
And
back-to-back
on the third
episode.
season, there was another 26.
Right. So that's basically a year and a half. You could sit down and watch an episode every single day for a year and a half.
Or a week, every week.
Or a week every week. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. And when you're like 8 or 9, you're just waiting for those episodes to come out.
Yeah.
So then
That's why I say the 80s films had a better.
Cartoons. We're talking about cartoons.
Yeah, I know, but they had better stories to them then.
Yeah. They could hold. The thing is, everything seems to have been condensed and consumed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, TikTok, for example, loves 15-second videos. That's what the platform was built for. YouTube was made for longer formatted videos, and it just shows how times have changed. People's attention spans just don't have it any longer. I mean, we see it with our own little one. Thank you for the invite to go live, but it's just the 2 of us tonight.
And now,
I don't know. You tell me.
Phantom.
Fantasia, where they were.
No, it wasn't Fantasia.
No, it was. I know what you mean. They were given their special abilities by Merlin.
Yeah.
And so you had good and
Flash Gordon, Phantom.
Oh, you took Defenders of the Earth.
That's what I was trying
Defenders
to think
of the Earth. Yeah, I thought you meant the other one. Visionaries, I think they were called. No, yeah, I think it was. You're thinking of Defenders of the Earth, and I'm sure it was Visionaries.
I actually can't remember Visionaries. I don't think I've ever watched it.
You will when it comes up, if I can spell it correctly. Visionaries cartoon. Right.
Yeah, because you had their children.
Yeah, Vision. Yeah, go on, sorry.
So with Defenders of the Earth, you had their children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Visionaries, you had, again, probably there just to sell toys. Can I please name a country? Thank you for the roses, Toby Flan. You didn't have to, honestly. Okay, let's go for a country. Somebody wants us to name a country.
Ireland.
There you go. So Ireland is our choice. Right, so Visionaries. I'll go into this one. You might not have watched this then.
I don't think I
Visionaries.
did.
So they have little plaques on their chest that produces their ability.
No.
Right. And what kind of made me laugh was they'd only be given they were given their powers back after depleting them by a guy called Merlin or Merklin. It was very similar to Merlin anyway. And he always said, like, this is the last time that I do it. But you have the goodies and the baddies. They always ended up fighting each other. They always both depleted their special abilities, and they always got them recharged. Knights of the Magic Light. So 1987, and again, I think this is probably another TV show created purely to sell toys. Not that the 80s were capitalist in any shape or form. Loads of money. The planet Primos post-technological loss. Two groups rise to dominate from the devastation to wage war upon each other. One is controlled by honest and law-abiding people, and the other by criminals and villains. Following an open challenge thrown down by the great wizard Merklin, so they rip off Merlin and call him Merklin, 14 surviving knights are granted powers of transformation and magical energy. The groups are now divided between the good spectacled knights and the evil darkling lords. The battle of supremacy begins. There you go. So yeah, that's it, really. There was another one. It was similar to Defenders of the Earth. They had special power suits, so probably a bit more like Mask. They had special power suits that I remember it vividly. They'd like say Power Extreme.
Oh, Centurions.
It was that Centurions, and then they had all these different adaptable bits of their suits. This live hasn't gone anywhere. I thought it would, but never mind. Centurions, as in
This. They've shown you the actual toys as well on here.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Ace McCloud, Jake Rockwell, Dr. Terror, Max Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Centurions. Here we go. Images. Yeah, there's only 3 of them though.
Yeah, that's all there was. The girl was the one that was at the command center, if you like, when they shouted. Yeah.
Power Extreme. Yeah.
Then she'd send down what they needed.
Yeah. Right.
And there was a bloke, Doctor. I can't think of it.
Yeah, because there it is, Centurions TV series, 1986 again. 1986, right.
Dr. Terror was the one that they were fighting against.
Right. They were really thought, they must have sat down there in their little writing room and went, how can we describe our villain? Well, let's call him Dr. Terror.
Yeah.
You know, and Mum Ra. You know, for Thundercats, we'll give her Thundercats.
Well, to be fair, they did do it so he was in like a tomb, like his.
Yeah, no, it's exactly. It's like, yeah, we'll just, and you never find out what he is. He's just the ever living. The ever living what? You know, is he the ever living? I don't know. Demented elephant stuck in a pyramid. You know,
I'd be demented if I was stuck in a pyramid all the time.
You're demented when you're stuck in the flat.
Yeah, there is that.
Real Radical. Oh, nice. Welcome. Invite Alex to go live. No, we're just the 2 of us. We're having fun, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So we're going to have to wrap this up at some points. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you still sticking to that Thundercats was the best 1980s cartoon?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay then. Right. Can I bring in a late contender?
I thought we were wrapping this up.
No, I've got to say, for me, The one show that I couldn't live without, of one animated show, was Dungeons and Dragons. I absolutely loved Dungeons and Dragons.
See, this is where.
We haven't even gone to Godzilla either.
No, I know. And Godzuki.
Godzilla, yeah, I know. That's the one thing that really bugged me about Godzilla was Godzuki.
No, see, I quite like that one.
No, see, I love Godzilla. I used to watch the Toho Studios, the original Godzilla films, which were they were dubbed into English by George Takei from Star Trek. That was one of his first jobs as an actor.
Do you remember Captain Planet?
Unfortunately, I do. Thankfully, not very well. I mean, that was Captain Planet was really the start of the green movement, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
In the
it
80s.
was fun the way they did it. It wasn't.
It was. I mean, I remember back in the 80s when they said we've only got 5 years to save planet Earth. But that's another story for another day. Right. So, your favourite cartoon is still going to be Thundercats.
Yeah.
Okay, because it has a snarf.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. My favourite cartoon of the 80s is going to be Dungeons and Dragons. Okay.
Because it has a uni.
No, because it's just a bloody good story. Okay, so let's bring this forward. What would be your favourite modern day cartoon?
I haven't got one.
You haven't got one?
No.
For story, for animation, for
Nothing.
characters, nothing at all.
No, you can't beat the 80s. I'm sorry.
Right.
I would rather, and I have tried to do this with our little one. Whenever she wanted to sit and watch a cartoon, I always try to put on an 80s one.
Right.
Because I can't bring myself to watch some of the ones that they've got now.
Thank you for the likes. Wow, 1,100 likes. Cheers, thank you. That's really cool.
Yeah, I can't.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, but that's not one that's now.
It's modern. Isn't you?
Not really. How old was Yu-Gi-Oh?
All right, 2002. It was 2002. Originally, it came in 2002. If it was just a fantastic story, though. The original Yu-Gi-Oh series is brilliant. It's got everything, and at the end of the day, you find out that the villain was after such a. His cause was so relatable. At the end of it, you just thought you had a villain that you could relate to, and I think if you're going to create villains, the best ones are the ones that you can relate to.
Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't class it as a cartoon. I class it as an anime.
It is an anime, but it's still a cartoon.
Yeah, but that's a different type of cartoon altogether.
And that can be a debate for next week. What is an anime? Is it a cartoon or is it something different?
It's based on a graphic novel.
Yeah, I know it was. But then these are, yeah, okay, right. All right, so I'm still going to stick with Dungeons and Dragons is the best 1980s cartoon. You're going to stick with Thundercats, and we've been chatting now for just under an hour, 44 minutes.
And I haven't brought up She-Ra, so you're all right.
Well, I'm just thinking we've been chatting for 44 minutes and we haven't actually achieved anything.
No, I know. Sounds like life.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where we're going to wrap up this week's live. Thank you so much for joining me on TikTok and on YouTube. I really do appreciate the support. If you want to support the channel, all you have to do is simply watch the videos, comment on the videos, like and share. And if you don't like the videos, you can always leave the dislike button. Hit that if you like. But tell me why. Tell me what's wrong with the videos and content.
I'll tell you another thing we can do.
Yeah.
And another one.
Okay, we're going to plan for. None of these are planned properly
No.
anyway. These lives.
We could discuss.
Yeah.
The original
Right.
and the remakes.
I did think about that. What original are you going to go with, and what remake?
Well, I was thinking about the He-Man series.
What, to spend 40 odd minutes?
Well, to start,
There's no competition though.
there isn't. But it's just, why would they do it?
Okay. The other thing that I was thinking of as well was what cartoon series deserved to be made into a film. Thundercats. Okay, right. Now, I would say Dungeons and Dragons, but it has been made into a film, and there is an Easter egg where you can see the original Dungeons and Dragons characters.
I know, but it wasn't Dungeons and
It
Dragons.
no, it's not our Dungeons and Dragons, but it was nice to see the homage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they paid homage to the original 80s cartoon,
Absolutely.
which was incidentally was a Marvel Studios cartoon
Yeah.
as well. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for joining us on this live. We've certainly enjoyed ourselves, and I hope you have too. Please leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube, in the box below. Get in touch. You know, I'm open to suggestions. I'd love to hear what you guys think of our content. I say our content because I might be the face of Sci-Fi fans. The Off-Screen Oracle does a lot of research for me behind the scenes, and I'm really pleased that she started to join us on the lives as well. So thank you so much. We'll be back next week between 9:30 and 10 for another 45 minutes. Depending on the engagement, we might even be around for a bit longer. So thank you so much. Take care of yourselves, and we will be back next week. Cheers.
That could be insane.